Hello friends, this is a public demand class. That means here I am going to discuss why the horizontal line, any horizontal line having slope 0 and any vertical line having slope infinite. Now let us discuss. This is very important. Student unable to understand why this thing is happening. Okay, see. Suppose this is time axis, this is your x or y, whatever is the state, doesn't matter. Now what you have to do, suppose you are having this straight line. Now this is a straight line, this is a straight line and this straight line is parallel to this time axis. That means this is a horizontal straight line. Any line parallel to this abscissa is horizontal. So now this is horizontal straight line. Now what you have to do, you just imagine you are coming from minus infinity. In my last discussion I have told, any signal you have, you just think the signal starts from minus infinity and it terminates at plus infinite. That means you just think the signal starts from minus infinity and you are coming over the signal. From minus infinity you are coming in this manner, and you are going in this manner, in this manner, in this manner, in this manner, and you are reaching at plus infinity in this direction. Understood? So now, how to find out the slope of this line? I have told, slope is nothing but change in y by change in x. For this you have to take any portion of the signal, any portion of the straight line. So that means this is your time axis. Now this is the line. Just take this portion. Any portion you just consider, doesn't matter. Any portion you just consider, doesn't matter. And I have told this portion slope is same as this portion slope, is same as this portion slope, is same as the entire line slope. Doesn't matter. So now if you take this portion, now what is change in y? See here, change in y. So that means we are going from this point to this point. Imagine this is initial point, this is final point, because signal direction in this manner I have told now. This is the direction of the signal. Now here this is the direction of the signal. Now change in y. Here what is y? Here what is y? Meaning here what is y value? Here what is y value you have to consider. Here y value is suppose actually 2. Here y value is also 2. Here y value suppose 3. Here y value is 3. Because this is a horizontal line. Okay. So now change in y. Now suppose this point is 5, this point is 2. So when you are moving from this point to this point, change in y is 0. Because this is y value, whatever the y value here, same is the y value here, change in y 0. Change in x, 5 minus 2, that means 0 by 3, that is 0. So slope is 0. So any horizontal straight line you just take, change in y is always 0. Whatever the change in x doesn't matter. Change in x you have to take actually finite. Why finite? Because you are taking any portion. For any portion change in x definitely finite. Change in y is 0. So 0 by any value, that is actually 0. That means this straight line having slope 0. Similarly, whatever the straight line you just consider which is parallel to this horizontal axis. Suppose you are having this straight line. Change in y, suppose this is actually y. This is any portion you just take, this is the portion. Change in y value same, change in y 0. Now x value whatever may be, x value suppose 4, this is suppose 2, so 4 minus 2, that is equal to 0 by 2, that is 0. So that is why horizontal line having the slope always 0. Parallel line which is parallel to time axis, the slope is always 0. Time axis means here actually you are considering signal, that's why you are considering time axis, otherwise you just consider any abscissa, that may be x, that may be y, that may be anything else over the axis I can take. So if the line is parallel to abscissa, then the slope is 0. Understood? Good. Now, suppose you are having this vertical line. Now suppose this value is 2. Now you have to find out the slope. How to find out the slope? Now change in y. You have to take a portion. For finding the slope, definitely you have to take a portion. Any portion you have to take. Because you know this portion slope is same as this portion slope, is same as the over line, is same as the entire line slope. So therefore, this portion you just take. Now this portion if you take, what is change in y value? See here. Here actually suppose here the y value is 5, here the y value is 2. Now what is the change in y? 5 minus 2. Because you are moving in this manner. You are rising. So 5 minus 2. Change in y, 5 minus 2. Divided by. Change in x. Here you just see. For this point x is 2. For this point is also x value is 2. That means 2 minus 2. That is 0. That means 3 by 0, which is infinite. That means change in y by change in x is having the value infinite. So therefore this straight line having slope infinite. Understood? This straight line having slope infinite. Very interesting. Now, the important point try to understand. So, if you consider the direction, suppose you are having this line, very interesting. Suppose you are having the line and you are saying that you are coming in this direction and you are moving in this manner. That means you are rising. You are rising. You are rising. And you are going to infinite in this direction. You are going to infinite in this direction. You are rising and you are going to infinite in this direction. That means here a direction is assigned. So therefore, you have to take the slope is positive. The slope is plus infinite. Dekho, plus infinite and minus infinite having also the significance. See, plus infinite phi because it is rising. So now change in y having any value, suppose finite. Finite. Divide by change in x is what? 0. Because at same point you will find this is the at some value of t you are having this point and also you are having this point. So therefore it's 0. That means plus infinite. And why plus infinite? Because rising. But if you are falling, this is time axis, suppose you are falling in this manner. See here, this straight line, what will be the slope? That means change in y, see here, change in y, definitely we are getting some change in y, finite. Change in x, same point, these two values you are getting, so therefore change in x 0. But we are falling means the slope is, this is infinite, slope is minus infinite. So this line having slope minus infinite, very interesting. So first of all you have to see whether the slope is positive or negative, and if positive, what value it have. So here the value is infinite, so here you have to consider plus infinite, here you have to consider minus infinite, because what you are doing, we are coming from minus infinity and we are falling over this signal and we are going in this manner. Understood? Very simple. Now suppose, see here, very interesting concept I am going to cover. So now suppose you are having this curve, try to understand. Now what you have to do, you are coming in this direction, you are rising here, you are going in this direction, you are falling here, then you are going this. Now suppose anybody asks, what is the slope of this line and what is the slope of this line? Kind of understand. Over this signal, what is the slope of this line and what is the slope of this line? This line having slope plus infinite, this line having slope minus infinite. Why? Because rising here, falling here. This is very interesting. So now if you are rising, actually any vertical line, slope is always infinite. Magnitude is always infinite. Now what will be the polarity? That means plus or minus. How to assign actually plus or minus, positive or negative. So that looking to the signal, you can easily visualize, you can easily judge whether the slope is positive or negative. Okay? So that means here the slope is plus infinite, here the slope is minus infinite. Understood? Suppose you are having this signal. Very interesting concept. See, here you are coming from minus infinity, you are rising. So therefore here the slope is plus infinite. Here you are falling, see, slope is minus infinite. Here are rising, slope is plus infinite. Here are falling, slope is minus infinite. Yes, minus infinite. Then we are moving over this. Understood? So slope is positive or negative, plus infinite or minus infinite, 0 or actually anything else, that can be decided looking to the signal. So for this, very important concept is you have to assign the direction of the signal. And how to assign the direction of the signal, I have already covered. Now suppose you are having this line. Actually you are coming from minus infinity over the signal. Remember, you are coming always over the signal, The signal is this. That means there is no joining. If there is a joining here, then you can say you are coming in this direction and you are falling, you are going. But if you are having, the signal does not have any joining here in this manner, then what you have to do? You have to think you are coming from minus infinity in this direction and you are going infinity in this direction. This side infinity to this side infinity you are going. So during the journey, if you are rising, the slope is positive. If you are falling, the slope is negative. Just like this. Here, what you have to imagine? You are imagining you are coming from minus infinity in this direction and you are going to infinity in this direction. You are coming from infinity in this direction and going towards infinity in this direction. That means you have to assign the direction in this one. Slope is falling. During your journey, the if you are falling, slope is negative, if you are rising, slope is positive. Okay, I think it is better understood. There is no problem. If you understood these things, then when I will differentiate this signal, then I will say what type of signal you will find, whether this discussion plays a dominant role in your future study of signals and system. This is, though it is very fundamental, so conceptually it is very essential. Understood? Thank you. In my next discussion we will meet.